Hello everyone, welcome back. I hope you had a wonderful Christmas. Woo-hoo! Yes, did you enjoy the rest of the Advent calendar? I certainly hope so. I am here today with Susan and Whitney and we are rounding out your 2023 Advent calendar. We're going to open the remaining gifts, which is 23, 24, and 25, and then we're going to create a little project together. So I hope you enjoyed this year's Advent calendar. If you did, please head to our website and you can sign up to be notified when we put out our pre-order for next year's Advent calendar. So I know some people missed out this year because they weren't aware during that pre-order period. So definitely make sure you get on our list so you can be notified next year when we launch the pre-order. And it's going to be super fun again. So let's get started on those last 3 days.
I'm already signed up for Advent calendar next year.
You're already signed up?
Notifications on high.
Well, hopefully Charlie can put a link in the description of the video when this goes out. I think also when that newsletter goes out, there will be a link so you guys can sign up for that list to be notified. So. All right, let's get going with number 23. We have some fun gifts in these last 3 days. Here it is, this fun little pot of goodness. What is in here? I can't get it open though.
Susan wants
Whitney.
them all. Well, we got this.
Oh, I did it. Yo, guys, I did it.
Hooray.
Whitney's like, well, I don't know how to help you.
If you can't get it.
Okay, so I'm going to just sprinkle some of these out because these are too good. Hopefully you guys got these out of the jar and noticed what is kind of fun and unique about them. So these are similar to our glitter drops, but we are kind of calling them foil drops because they have that glittery foil in them that makes them really special and pretty. So you can see they're kind of gold flecks are inside each of those different colors.
They're beautiful.
So when we picked out this color combination, we were kind of going for matches to the Tailored Expressions cardstock. This here would be a good match for guava or pink champagne. This one matches pineapple really well. And here we have spearmint, which is one of my favorite kind of unusual colors that we carry. And then we have the just plain white foil drop as well. Really pretty, goes with a lot of different things with that gold flecking in it. All right, we'll put those back in the jar for now. I am going to use them on our project as we get to creating here, but let's finish opening. I'm not gonna tighten that too much because hopefully I can get it open the next time I need to. So number 24, let's pull that one out next. What do we have here? We have some fun washi tape. Washi tape is a great way to create your own patterned paper, which we're going to do when we create together today, but it's also fun to use as a way to close your envelopes when you're sending them. Just adds a little bit of extra to the outside of your envelope. Let me pull it out here and you guys can see what it looks like if I just tack it down to my glass mat. Isn't that pretty? I'm going to zoom in and you can see that beautiful flower pattern. And yes, we coordinated the washi tape to match with those foil drops. So those are going to be great to go together. We've got the kind of spearmint in the background with the pink champagne and pineapple accents. This is mine that I'm going to use as we create, so I'll just roll that back up here and show you how you can use that to create your own pattern on a card front. All right, and last but not least, we have our last little gift for you this holiday season. We have $5 off an order of $25 or more. I have covered up that coupon code since this video is available for everyone to watch, whether they got the Advent calendar or not, but just a little note. So any order of $25 or more, you can use this coupon code. It is valid through January 31st, the end of January. And if you're trying to apply Crafty points, that is a coupon code as well, and you can only do one coupon code per order. So you will not be able to apply Crafty points and use this coupon at the same time. So just a little heads up as you are deciding how and when to use this. Lots of great releases coming up in January, so definitely lots of opportunities to use that coupon. Okay, should we craft together one more time?
Yes.
Okay.
I love your project today.
Let's do it. I'm going to show you the project first, and then we're going to make it together because it's super simple. This came together really easily, didn't it?
So cute.
So you might recognize this daisy image. So this is one that was in the advent calendar as well. It was, I think, the previous week. I'm not sure the exact days, but you guys did get this in the advent calendar along with the clear stamp that creates the fills. So I decided, since this washi tape is a floral design and has some pretty colors that work well with this daisy, that I would bring it into this card as well. Okay, so we're going to start with the piece of cardstock that I'm going to use to create the little bit of pattern paper that we have at the bottom. So I'll take my washi tape and kind of find where I like it to hit. I'm not doing really any fancy measuring or anything, just sort of putting it on there, and then I'll tear that little excess off and continue with the next strip. I'm trying to get them just perfectly lined up without any white space in between so that it looks like a pattern piece. And you can see that some of the flowers do meet up. If you want to try to get them to meet in spots, you can. It won't meet up perfectly to make a seamless pattern, but good enough. And then one more little bit here at the bottom. Actually, this last one, I have a little bit of white space I can see that I want to fix there. This is a little different doing this pre-recorded, isn't it, guys? There's no comments to pay attention to, but feel free as you're watching this. It's just like any other YouTube video. You're welcome to comment along, and always share your projects on our fan page. So if you're crafting with the Advent Calendar goodies, we would love to see that. This is my kind of simple way of just folding over the washi tape onto the back. Then you get a really nice crisp line there. It doesn't work on all of the spots because you have corners to take into consideration. So I'll fold over this long edge, and then I'll end up trimming that off on the other side there. Okay. All right, now we're going to go ahead and we're going to adhere this piece of pineapple cardstock. I'm going to slightly overlap the flower pattern there. I'm actually putting the paper on top of the washi tape. And then you might have noticed in the card sample that the white part here at the top is embossed with one of our embossing folders. In order to do that and avoid embossing this bottom part, it's really hard to stick washi tape down to a bumpy surface. So that's why I didn't emboss the entire piece at the beginning. I'm actually going to take my paper trimmer, and we are going to, well, first I can make it easier on myself by cutting these off. And then what I'm going to do is actually just line up this diagonal part that I put the paper down onto, and I'm going to cut the white off of the card, off of the top here. So now I have two pieces that are going to fit back together just perfectly, but first we want to send this through the die cut machine with our dotted diamonds embossing folder. I've used this one so much, Susan and I have used it so much that actually the name is rubbed off of the front of it. It's one of our favorites. It goes with everything. It's a great basic. So if you don't have that one in your collection, it is a good one to add to your wish list. All right, so I'm going to pull in the die cut machine here, and on our embossing folder settings for the big shot, we're going to take out the thin die adapter plate and send this through with just the 2 clear plates and the main base piece. All right, so there's what that looks like. Perfectly embossed. And then we can go ahead and put these 2 pieces back together. Actually, another great way to do that is with some washi tape. So I'm going to take and grab an extra piece here just to hold this together.
How convenient.
How great is that? And actually, you know, if you don't want to waste your pretty washi tape, I would even suggest grabbing some teal tape that has a higher tack than washi tape does, so it's going to stay together a little bit better. And we'll just put one down the middle for good measure. And that is ready to go onto your card base. I am going to take my, since I'm here and I've got my foam strips out, I'm going to take my 1x3 foam and go ahead and place that down the card panel so it's ready to go. So this piece of our card is finished, and I can even put it on my card base. I chose a white card base, and since some of this panel that we're popping up is white, I always like to use foam tape to create that dimension between 2 layers of the same color. So something to think about when you're using white on white is to pop up one of your white layers so that you can see the dimension of those 2 same colors. Okay, so I next took one of our arch stacklets, and this is cut from Sugar Cube cardstock. I'm gonna put it in my little mini Misty here, and here's that daisy flower. Now there is something special about this daisy that I haven't mentioned yet during the Advent calendar reveals, but this is what they call a 1-line stamp. And the artist who drew this, what that means is they used 1 continuous line to draw this entire image. So they started down here, and then if you follow it with your eyes, once you stamp it out, you can see how they just continued without picking up their proverbial pencil. I'm sure this was done on a computer, but without picking up the pencil, they created this image with 1 continuous line. All right, so I'm just going to center that on here, and we'll go ahead and stamp that with Oreo ink. I just caught myself. I almost asked, how's everybody doing out there?
We're doing good.
And we'll stamp it twice to make it nice.
Because we can.
Because we can. Thank you to our Misty. All right. So now let's go ahead and fill in that image with the stamp set. This is the clear stamp set that you also received in the Advent calendar. And I mentioned this on the last live, that one of the things I love about these fills is that they're so easy and quick to add color to the image without having to get out your markers, especially if you're not a fan of coloring, Susan.
That's me. And I do love these 1-line images so much.
They are very pretty. All right, so this is spearmint ink that I'm using on the leaf. The other great thing about these fills is they're not designed to be perfect. So it is intended for you to go outside the lines, which I know gives a lot of us a lot of freedom to kind of be a little abstract and not feel like it has to be absolutely perfect. Okay, so now I have the flower petal fill, and I'm going to do that with pink champagne. I just said be abstract about it, but I do want to turn it just a little bit and see if I can find a good spot where it looks kind of like it's supposed to lay naturally. Here we go. So if you're looking at the stamp, this kind of area right over here has a little bit more space between the petals, or if you take a look where the petals are actually broken, that is the very top two petals on your outline daisy, is how that is designed to kind of fit in there. Again, it's not designed to fill in perfectly, but this is a flower and there are certain petals that fit better in certain places. Okay, last fill. We have pineapple ink, and we're going to do that flower center. And we did give you, there's no difference between these two leaves and two centers. There was just room in the stamp set. So if you're anything like me, you might lose one at some point. And so then you have another one.
That's funny.
All right. I wanted to soften it up just a little bit, so I decided to grab a new supply from TE, which I'm loving lately, our detail blender brushes, and I am just going to take my spearmint ink here and just kind of tap that ink pad on the top. I'm going to start off on my placemat or my glass mat here, and then I'm just going to lightly come onto the cardstock and kind of go round and round at the base of that leaf here. And that's going to add a little bit of a green glow at the bottom of my image, kind of give it a little bit more grounding so that flower isn't just floating out in midair. I'll pull this up into the screen so you can see it a little bit better. There's what that looks like. And to add to the softness of the petals then, I'm going to do the same thing with the pink champagne ink. And of course, I'm going to switch out my blender brush. I have another detail blender brush here that has pink on the end of it. And we're going to come in and just kind of circle around the edges of that image and add a little halo of color around the outside. And I caution you to go slowly as you're doing this. You can always add more color, but if you get a big blob of color on there right away, it's not going to look so glowy. Light-handed. Yes, many layers. And here's what that looks like a little bit closer to. All right, we're almost done. Let's go ahead and add this to our panel that we created then. I'm going to go ahead with another foam strip. Look at that. That just fits nicely right down the middle of that particular arch size there. I'm going to add a little bit more along each edge just to sturdy up those edges a little bit. I don't need to go all the way from top to bottom. And I'm going to overlap the pattern about right here. I can get out, it's time for the foil drops. So I'll go ahead and just dump a few of those out. I always like to place my foil drops before I glue them down. And I'm just going to follow my little guide that I did over here already, because once it's been done, I don't like to fuss with the arrangement of rhinestones or drip drops or
something that works.
I know. If
It looks good.
it ain't broken, don't fix it. Okay. Now we can glue those down, and I'll take my glue press here, pick the booger off the end, and we'll just glue those down. Okay. And last but not least, I have my sentiment, which I have already foiled. I foiled it with champagne foil, and this is from the Foil It Hello Lovely pack. And there is a set of dies called Hello Lovely that coordinate with this sentiment set. So I'm just going to add a little bit of adhesive off to the right side and kind of adhere that right up here. Now I have 2 Hey There cards I can send.
I think it's so
Hooray!
cute. So cute.
I do love a good use for washi tape too. Sometimes I think it's the supply that never ends, but this is a great way to use it up. Kind of make your own patterns. Okay, I have one more request of all of you watching. And let me get back here so I can say a proper farewell. My last request is leave me a comment and tell me what were your top 2 Advent calendar reveal packages. What was your favorite, your top 2 favorites from this year's Advent calendar? I would love to hear about it. Of course, you can leave any comments you'd like. If there are certain products you'd like to see added to the store, of course, I've kind of talked about some things that will definitely be added. Yes to blue cheese. Yeah, but let us know if you had fun and what were your favorites. We had so much fun. I loved creating every week along with you guys, and hopefully inspired you to use what you got in this year's Advent calendar. So thank you for joining us. I hope you had a very Merry Christmas and Happy New Year ahead. Bye-bye.